I be in your nightmare, yeah. Been drinking, I can't see clear. I'm so sorry, all your dreams are coming true. Hit the lights, let it prove, yeah. Make a move. I be in your nightmare. Been drinking, I can't see clear. I'm so sorry, all your dreams are coming true. Hit the lights, let it prove, make a move, yeah. Yeah, make a move, it is true, I need you, I need you.
Welcome to the Best Damn Podcast. I am your host, John Keane. As always, I would like to thank you guys for joining me. Ask that you please add, follow, and check us out, www.spreaker.com/show/Best Damn Podcast. Also, check out the Best Damn Podcast.tv. That is still the current site. I am trying to work on a new one with community forums and live streaming and all of it. Hopefully, it will be very awesome and done soon. Also, whatever you're watching from, whatever platform you're watching from, make sure to subscribe, follow, hit the like, leave a comment, let me know what you think, and share. Get it out there. That way other people can see it. They're hiding us with the algorithms, so you're my only hope, basically. Follow me Instagram, Best Damn Podcast, Twitter, The Real Best Damn. And guys, keep in mind, we are viewer powered. We are at the end of the month, and this is that time where we ask everybody to please step up, help, support, donate. All of the links are in the description: PayPal, Venmo, Patreon, Cash App, and we have a new Patreon now. It's patreon.com Best Damn Podcast Official. Patreon.com Best Damn Podcast Official. If you have supported and donated and you haven't gotten your links or anything like that, the band playlist, text 513-393-2396, 513-393-2396, or email therealbestdampodcast@gmail.com. But nobody should be texting right now because all of it is posted on Patreon, free to the public, unlocked for everyone right now. And you guys are going to have to excuse me. I actually, before anybody even asked, I don't know if you guys can see it, I got dizzy and fell and banged my head, so I didn't want to do a video tonight. I'm that vain, I guess. Let me say what's up to you guys in the chat room. Jahara Lee, SHHS, SNJS, Planet X Survival, Ang Kali, Metatron's Cube, Tanya Spencer over on D-Live, Brian Harris, Chunk Biscuits, the Admin Extraordinaire, Mr. Know Thyself, Denise McCaskill, and Sarah Moretti over on Facebook Live. And let's go ahead and kill the music and get into this one tonight. Thank you guys for joining me. I hope you guys are having an awesome weekend, a wonderful weekend so far. They do not let us hit the thumbs up or bottom or button emojis. What? That's so weird. That is so weird. I'm not surprised at all. There's been a lot of weird stuff going on with the channels, like always, and that's why I'm trying to work on this .com. It's a big process, a big job. That's, if anybody has experience in web design, or anything like that, reach out, let me know, because I do need the help on creating this site. I really want this to be like the super mega awesome, BDP Grand Central, to where no matter where they kick us off or do, any type of BS to us, we have a place to stream and to, chat and have like a forum and all of that. You had balance problems. Yeah, well, hey, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. At least I didn't do it on air like I did like a month or so ago. I literally had to cut the stream off. I got so lightheaded, and as soon as I cut it off, boom. Boom. But I've been having some things going on, so it's all right. We're going to get into this tonight. And a third of the stars were flung to the earth. We've talked about this quite a bit, really. How basically we have seen through all of the different prophetical events, according to, biblical scripture, according to ancient text, according to a lot of things. We can just look at, science, right now, real science, not, the agreed upon science, but, real science that bears out and proves itself, as well as observable evidence that we are at a really special time here on earth, and that we're going through some crazy changes right now, like changes that I don't think most of us are even able to wrap our heads around, right? Like, you can't anticipate the type of things that will take place. Like, that's how crazy it all is, really. But it's all got a point to it. It's all about the transfiguration and ascension process and the purification of the earth. We also know that, we call them the powers that be, those that are of the darkness, we'll just say, that these people are trying to take this moment and use it as an opportunity to change the time, so to speak. Right? They're making everything external and physical and political to suck people in and deceive them through all of these signs and wonders that are taking place. That way they will perish in all of these things and all of these events, because they want to make them a sacrifice, an offering to their God. Who is their God? You might know him as Satan, but the Bible calls him Abaddon, Apollyon, the Destroyer, the Dark Lord, Nibiru, Planet X, Wormwood, Herculobos, Planet 9, right? Go on and on and on about, every culture has a name for it. See, we've been told, it's really crazy that we've been told and believe that our history is totally different than what it really is. When we look at the biblical timeline especially, that one is probably the best one that we have, in my opinion, as far as showing us that we've been getting our ass torn up every 300 or 400 years, guys, by some cyclical event, and it is, in fact, a celestial event. Matter of fact, tonight we're also going to take a look at some of the different prophecies through Immanuel Velikovsky's Worlds in Collision. And you guys know Velikovsky, in my opinion, so far ahead of his time. He was basically called, Looney Tunes and all of that good stuff, because he was saying that what everyone was calling mythology, which is, the ancient text and the scriptures, he was saying it was history, that they were historical accounts, and that what they were talking about was real. It really happened, and it really happened everywhere. And a lot of the stories, whether we know it or believe it or not, different cultures are talking about the same event, just in different parts of the world, because everybody was experiencing this. This wasn't just, a couple of people on Earth went through this. Each time this happens, it almost exterminated the entire population of the Earth. Mankind almost went extinct every time. And if you know that this thing is attracted to darkness and attracted to evil, and that's what's being harvested here, spiritual energy that they are distorting and turning into darkness, right? Then it's not surprising. Look around you now as we're at the end of an age, right? And going into a new, and we're at the end of all of these cycles and everything's being reset. it doesn't look like very many people are going to make it through this purification process, does it? You know, it really don't. Almost everyone now is corrupt, to the core. Their entire reality only revolves around themselves because it's that small, right? It's just based on their life, how they can gratify themselves alone. People are drawn to the physical riches, right? That's what they value. That's what they place value on. And I don't care what part of the world you go to, most people will rank, having a home, a car, money in the bank, and, nice clothes, nice shoes, sending your kids to nice schools, all of this as, the priority of their life. Never once do you hear them mention or bring up that their number one priority should be to know themselves, right? To discover who they really are and to live out what they dream, right? Nobody does that. That's called kiddie shit, right? If you're trying to live out your dream, that means you're still acting like a kid. Why don't you just grow up and be miserable with the rest of us, is what they're saying, basically, right? So we know that right now, after this 2021 PDC NASA simulation, there's been some strange things going on. Some very strange things going on. We're going to look at some fantastic videos tonight of different phenomena and crazy things. We're going to be also looking at a lot of different stories that coincide with all of this. But I want to start first with all of this, man. This is just, I'm telling you, it's really more than I think most people even realize. It's right in front of your face. It's right in front of your face. Here, let me make sure I can mute this here. Asteroid potentially bigger than the Eiffel Tower to fly past Earth next week. Bigger than the Eiffel Tower to fly past Earth next week. And you can see here, Land O'Lakes, Florida, from April, a fireball in the sky. And let me make sure you guys have sound here and you're good on all of that. Okay, looks like you are. And here we go. Check this out. This is the one from Land O'Lakes, Florida. Look at it. Giving off these big sonic booms. Just like was described by many of the ancients. These are blazing fireballs. Matter of fact, it talks about a lot of them looking like liquid fire or having a sticky substance to them. Basically describing plasmatic phenomena, in my opinion, right? It was something plasma, not just a
journey.
A space rock like you've been told, right? Space is not what we've been told, not even close. An asteroid potentially taller than the Eiffel Tower is due to fly past Earth next month. The huge space rock known as 2021 KT1 will make a close approach to our planet on June 1st around 10:24 a.m. Eastern Time. In cosmic terms, the word close is relative. Although NASA includes the pass in its close approaches data table, the asteroid will in fact zoom past the Earth at a distance of around 4.5 million miles. And that's not far in space, guys. And this is, once again, this is one of those weird coincidences, is it not? If you guys know anything about the Nemesis system and a lot of the numbers and theories and things that have been kicked around, one of them is that it has a 20 million mile long debris field or tail, right? That follows behind it. Nothing but garbage and trash and meteors and asteroids and all of that, right? It's flanked by like 6 moons, right? This 7-headed dragon. And it appears to have wings because it is burning off this iron oxide. And the iron oxide dust is coming off. And because of centrifugal force, as it passes the sun, and coming up from underneath the ecliptic plane, right, and passes the sun and comes down, the wings invert and it looks like a big giant, red sphere with wings. We see pictures of it from, back in 2011 and early 2000s. And from deep in space, the thing looked like a dragon. It looked like it had a face on it. Right? It was this giant red ball. And you seen two eyes with the two kachinas and what was known as the string of pearls. Matter of fact, let me see if I can pull up that picture real quick and just show you what I'm talking about here. And hopefully it's just at the top here. Yes, right here. Here it is. Let me make it a little bit bigger so you can see. And this is what I'm talking about, guys. This is why the Colburn, when it's describing this thing, see, look at that. There's a dark star behind it, a neutron star, a black star that can't be seen. Matter of fact, it has such a strong magnetic pull that it doesn't allow light to escape at all. So back in the days of, I think it was the Pioneer and what was the other mission in the early 70s that they were sending out the satellites towards Pluto, because when they were looking out of their telescopes or their crystal balls, we now know because of Skydome Atlantis and, Andrew from Boogeyman Channel explaining the Centelli telescope method, right? It's really just a crystal ball that's using mirrors and the inversion of light to see through the firmament. So as they were looking out there, they said that gravity, which is not real, right? It's magnetism, an electromagnetic reality, right? Was warped out towards Pluto, right? Out towards the trans-Neptunian objects, which would be the very, furthest reaches of our alleged solar system. I say alleged because I don't know how our system is truly set up, and neither do you. Okay? We have the, the standard model, but I think I've at least proven on this channel a million times that that's not how it is at all, right? Not how it is at all. And people have theories about it spiraling like comets behind each other and all these different things. But in my opinion, all of this is actually orbiting around us, right? It's our magnet that's kind of, holding the attraction and repelling these different celestial spheres, because they are all stars, right? No such thing as planets. It's all stars, including the Earth. The Earth is a star, and we are pieces of stars. So this dark object that they seen not allowing light to escape, right? Attracted to negativity, attracted to matter, absorbing negative energy, so nothing could escape. It was warping everything around it. They look out here, and these emerged probably 10, 15 years ago. And you can see the outline of the big one, like behind it here. And then what looks like the two eyes here. A binary star system right here. The red and the blue Kachina. These are also stars as well, and they do a cosmic dance. And what the dark star does with its cosmic dance is it has such a strong magnetic exchange. Remember I was talking about in the last show the cycle of energy, right? The cycle of energy and how it's based on magnetism in everything we do, right? Like say you want to receive good things in your life, then you have to give good things away, right? To receive them. It's that cycle. You want love in your life, you have to give love, right? It's just the flow of everything. This is how the laws were made in our creation here. So this dark star is pulling in all of this energy, and it's bursting at the poles. Gamma radiation is what they believe it is. Gamma rays are coming out of both poles, and they say that it's, actually like equivalent to, a pulsar or a quasar, and it's got more of a strength to it. And if you guys remember, I showed the JPL documents that you cannot find. They have been scrubbed from the internet. I mean, for a decade at least. I mean, I still have them, but I have to even go through, my emails and stuff. I don't have it. It won't let me download where I got it from. And we went through those NASA JPL documents, and what we were seeing was how they talked about this energy bursting from both poles. And when you hear like Rap the News talk about a hot and a cold side, that the magnetic exchange is happening so rapidly and so powerfully that in the core, it's molten hot. It's blistering, blazing hot. And around it, where it's absorbing in those particles around it, it's like frozen, freezing cold, like a ring, basically, of nothing but the coldest material, probably plasma, just like the moon and the sun, around it because of the exchange. It's giving off this radiation. And the Hopi talk about these two brothers, the brothers of the poles, right? Paganhoya and Palangaahoya. There they are, right there, right? Representing positive and negative, in my opinion. The blue Kachina reveals its mask, right? Coming in first. And what I believe it's doing is beating down different forms of light on us, because light and radiation actually affect human consciousness and mutates our DNA. Our DNA is our physical signature of our spiritual self, right? And it is connected through a silver cord, right? Through the astral. It's kind of like the midpoint between the two. And that's why there's an agenda to destroy your pineal gland and to disconnect you, right? And cut that silver cord, because they want to keep you here. They want to trap you here, and they want to cut you loose from your living spirit so they can devour it, basically. So this blue one comes in first, and I believe it gives off gamma and ultraviolet, and we have the infrared, these different light spectrums, and what it's doing is mutating our DNA, creating these changes. You look at the geological records, look at fossil records, soil samples all across the globe. Every period of cataclysm, and there's been a billion of them, right? The soil shows it because of all the volcanic ash and everything dying all at the same time, and all their bodies even, piled up together because what looks like tsunamis or tidal waves that have kind of washed over the land and crushed them all in wherever the wave ended at, basically. And if this is true, if this is what's happening, then what the Hopi are talking about with the purifier that issues its red light, forth, and that everything is changed, right, by its appearance. When we talk about the purifier, you have one that's triggering the shift. Everything from every age, you look at the next age, everything dies, and it's a little bit different. It's mutated. So that's what the blue one is doing. And then the red one comes in, and it's a collector of the energy, right? Everything dark, everything negative, everything evil is then completely vaporized. That way it can be sucked in and absorbed by this dark star that is pulling in all of that negative energy. And then you see down here, right, the string of pearls. This is that tail following behind it. This is that tail following behind it. It's planets and moons and trash and debris. And it is said that when it passes us, we actually will probably cross through the tail first. It'll cross in front of us, as it comes around the sun, will go through the tail, but it's moving at such a speed, the next time it comes back around, it'll come up. And remember, it has magnetic poles just like the Earth does. Positive and negative, same thing. That's why you see the South Atlantic anomaly right now. This object is repelling us magnetically, causing perturbation on the planet, right? And now science is telling you, the mainstream is telling you, that the Earth axis is tilted, that there's a new tilt on the axis, right? And this is from this object. We have the South Atlantic anomaly, where the ionosphere, the magnetic field, is completely inverted in its polarity, right? It goes from a positive polarity, and when I always show the image of it to show it to you and illustrate it, to a negative polarity. So something with a negative force, negative magnetism, is pushing our magnetic poles away from the South Atlantic anomaly, and they're meeting up at Siberia, where the new magnetic North Pole will be when the magnetic reversal takes place, or the pole shift. The Bible talks about it saying islands and mountains will be removed from their place, the sky will recede back like a scroll, right? All of that, that's what they're talking about. Land masses rising and falling, that's what they're talking about. This thing's coming in, repelling us, creating the magnetic excursion, creating all of the Earth changes, because it's also putting pressure on our magnetic field, right? And making it weaker in the place where we have the anomaly. That's why you see all the blackouts and stuff like that in that particular part of the world. Not to mention, that's where the equator is now too, which is the weakest point of the magnetic field, and the poles being the strongest point of the magnetic field. So as this thing comes in, it's repelling us, creating this magnetic repulsion, creating this tilt, creating this perturbation. Isaiah says in the last days the earth will stagger or wobble to and fro like a drunkard. That's what they're talking about. Whenever you see in the Bible it speak of the moon bowing or the sun bowing or staying still in the sky, well, they were probably at a place in the earth somewhere in the middle. I would say Africa would be the most likely area if they seen the sun sit still in the sky, because the planet had tilted completely, right? It had tilted completely. That's why a third of the day becomes night, a third of the night becomes day, because the thing then goes from repelling when it pulls in on us, and it's reaching a point of critical mass. So it's made these passes every 300 to 400 years, right? As it's picking up steam for like a long pass to go back out towards trans-Neptunian objects, to go back out towards the outer reaches of our system. And each time that it comes in, every binary star system, every companion system, the dwarf or the neutron star, the dark star, is like a dust buster, right? A vacuum. It collects all the dust, the particles, all of the matter, right? The negativity. And that's why those wings are blazing off of it, right? Because it's pulling all that stuff behind it, this 20 million mile long tail. And they say that it's going to pass within 4 million miles of us, just like this comet that we're seeing in the article here is supposed to do. And as it comes in and deposits this dust each time, our star, Sol, the sun of light, right, our light sun, is absorbing these things. You see what Planet X News calls stellar cores and all of that, and you see like the little tails where they're connecting to it. Right here, let me show you where they're making their connections. Like right here. See? Right here. And you can see the scale compared to Earth. all of this stuff is being brought in. The sun is pulling in magnetically and pulling in all of the light aspects magnetically. And because this reaction is taking place, we've watched our sun go from a yellow sun to it looked really white there for around 2016, 17, 18. And it started to take on a blue tint even 2018, 2019. And now we see it looking really red, because it's in the final stage, going into black. And the Bible talks about the sun becoming black as sackcloth, or black and made of hair, basically, right? This is the process of a recurring micronova. Every time you look at the Native Americans' headdress, what it's really representing is 58 filaments, right? It's representing the filaments of the sun and these plasmatic discharges, these solar flash, solar flare events. The Bible says that the heavens and the earth will pass away with a terrible noise, right, and fervent heat, or a great noise and fervent heat. This is the sun going boom, right? Everything being burnt up. Everything being destroyed from this reaction. Well, as it finally goes into the last phase, from the red to the black, it's developing a hard shell on the sun. And that's why they need things like sun simulators now, because it's going dark. As it's building that shell of all the material that's been deposited that it's trying to get rid of now. It's going to eject it in an explosion, right? In a major flare. And that's why we see right now also the sun is in solar cycle 25. And remember, 2 + 5, 7, which equals judgment. And it's in maximum. And maximum has been, it's far outpaced, or it's done far more than science had, even come close to anticipating it would do. And it's not even in its peak point yet, to where it's really going to be crazy. We've got a while of this sun going apeshit, right? I don't know if we're going to make it through it. Matter of fact, we talk about the Greek prophecy of when the planets return to their original position in the heavens, and these final conflagrations, right? And the final conflagration is fire. Right, the sun gives off this fire and burns everything up, right? And that's why we're seeing all the coronal mass ejections, all of the solar flares. And like I was telling you guys, I think the other day, my theory on asteroids, well, at least fireballs, I would say, on fireballs, is it's part of the process. If you think about how the ionosphere creates auroras, because of the gas, right? The process of the sun in its highest chakra, giving off all this energy, all of this light, all of this radiation, which is all flowing to us, and it affects human consciousness. It affects how we age. It affects how we think and our brain patterns, our emotional state, how long we live, right? We are connected to the sun. It's our lifeblood, basically. Our spiritual light and lifeblood. And as we're seeing it erupt and give off all of this massive amounts of energy, you see the powers that be trying to stop it, right, with nanoparticles, through stratospheric aerosol injection, and what people call HARP and all of that, through DARPA. Laying down these particulates in the air to refract that light back out into space and to filter in only the light that they want in, which would be that red light, right? It's the longest light wave on the magnetic light spectrum is red. That's why we see the red. Plus, we are seeing hydrogen and helium burning off, and iron oxide burning off, and all of these different things burning off of these stars. And It's all raining down in the form of cosmic rays, over 60 tons of cosmic dust every single day, not to mention UVA, B, C, all of them at all-time highs. And that's why your seismic activity, that's why your volcanic activity, that's why all of that is going crazy. Because as the energy transfers from the sun to the earth, it goes through that magnetic field, beats down on us, beats down on all the life on the earth, soaks in to the plasma core, right? The center of our star we call the earth, right? And just like HAARP, those plasmatic reverberations come back up and they're creating heat and energy. And that's why you see the expansion of, or the widening of, the tropical zone, the bulge that's being created around the equator. If you look at the continents and what they originally were in Pangea, which reminds me of the song, she don't know about Pangea? Let me show you a picture of Pangea. You guys probably don't even know what I'm talking about. There you go, Pangea, right? So our Earth at one point was all one big clusterfuck here, right? One big clusterfuck of land masses. But as this process has taken place time and time again, over and over and over, and the expansion of this energy being deposited through the sun to the earth, through the magnetic field, you see the separation of the continents, right? They've just spread apart. Because the equator is bulging, the tropical zone's widening, and all of the continents are spreading apart because the earth is getting fatter. It's eating all of this energy. But it can only hold and contain so much, just like a battery. Whenever we look at the ionosphere on ISWA, we can see those lines, right? Those field lines, as the earth is literally sucking in or pulling in energy from objects that appear to be behind it, sitting behind it, right? Which is strange because there's supposed to be nothing back there. But in the same breath, we also see these lines where the earth is repelling something, right? It's pulling in and repelling, pulling in and repelling, right? And it's going through magnetism. And the strength of the magnetic field is based upon the sun. So as the sun shifts and changes, the magnetic field shifts and changes. And when you have another star that has an opposite polarity, well, you're going to have a lot of changes. So as this takes place, all of this energy stored in the core, the plasma, it starts to heat up and expand until the core, the plasma can't take no more. And it's like the star in a jar, right? The collapsing and then expansion. Collapsing and expansion. And what you see is it comes through the mantle where it's magma, which is just iron, highly conductive, right? To allow the energy or electricity to flow through. And keep in mind also that whenever you look at like a river or a creek or something, imagine that being under the earth with the magma. And that's what all of the tectonic plates are. They're like the riverbeds of the energy. It allows the energy to travel and flow all across the globe here. And it creates this heat and expansion because the crust sits on top. It just floats on top. Like this, like it's almost like sitting on a water or something, like floating on the surface. And it allows for the earth to basically auto-correct, in my opinion. That way when the magnetic poles change, the geographic poles can kind of shift and catch up to it, right? And be in the same place. But it's a process. And you see the crust beginning to expand and break apart, and that becomes landslides, mudslides, sinkholes, all of this. And the energy is escaping in other forms through the faults, through volcanoes. That's why you have like 48 volcanoes erupting at the same time, the most in any recorded history we know of. right? And now all the super big ones are erupting, and they're creating really, really big problems with the things that are coming out of them as well, guys. And I'm to the point to where now I believe that there's probably a lot of people having a lot of things go on with them, especially in an area where, there's a volcanic eruption. And we've talked about how in the old text that, Etna is one of the most active and biggest parts of this, and it's going super crazy. And then Mauna Loa, all of these playing a part in this. I bet people are already starting to have skin problems, or you hear the slogan, "I can't breathe," right? Because the air is changing. It's becoming toxic. This is why so many people die in these cataclysms. I think that no matter where you go, right, if you're not lucky, I guess, right, and somewhere where the air can almost be filtered in places, I don't know if you'd even be able to live. The radiation that'll be beaten down on the surface, along with the heat and inundation and these gale winds that are talked about in the Bible, that also are spoken about in the CIA. It's redacted still, heavily redacted still. They came out with a postlude, which had a little bit more, but the Adam and Eve story that talks about this crustal displacement and this process that's taking place. And as this erupts through earthquakes, the energy flowing, that's why people like Dutch Sense can tell you, like, when a 3.7 erupts, in Cascadia subduction zone, right, where we have the slow slip with the Juan de Fuca plate, right, because the land masses are shifting. That down in San Andreas fault, because that's the way the energy's flowing, that there will be a string of 3.7s because it's like a wave underneath the surface. That's why we see, the series of energy pop up, in a pattern, and they're all about the same magnitude because it's a plasma wave. And that's why HAARP does what it does. It's shooting that energy through Doppler and all of this, and bouncing the plasma through the ground and creating earthquakes. And that's why you see earthquake lights too, right? It's plasma and energy erupting and discharging from the earth, right? And then we have all the volcanoes popping off. And seeing this becomes different gases that are very, very toxic to us. Iron oxide, sulfur, methane, carbon, helium, hydrogen, nitrogen. I mean, everything you can think of now is at all-time highs because of the crustal displacement, right? All of these different processes are taking place underneath our feet, creating wildfires everywhere. And notice wherever there's been an intense amount of wildfires, a lot of people say, "Oh, that's just directed energy." Well, it could be, but it's probably not from technology, though, right? The ionosphere is probably so fucking charged now that in order to release energy, it's discharging big bolts of plasma, right? And then we're starting fires in different places, and people are thinking that it's dews, right? They're thinking that it's directed energy. You think about Paradise, California. Notice it was all electrical components. All of them. Their houses and everything that burned, it was all through their electrical components, the telephone poles and all that. None of the natural stuff burned. And in the Bible it says, right, when it's harming them, to harm everyone except for the green grass, right? To harm everything except for the grass and the earth. Same principle, same concept, because it's attracted to magnetic beings or energy or magnetism. So yeah, people get fried, but the grass is cool. The trees are cool, right? They're not drawing in that energy the same way we are. We're walking antennas as it is. And if you add in what's taking place artificially in part of the agenda, we're really becoming walking antennas, right? So it creates these brilliant auroras, right, from all this gas coming up that's really poisonous to us. And we see northern lights in Michigan and shit like that now. And Edgar Casey said that when we started seeing these things, that it would be the time of the pole shift, right? That's, his predictions. And he was most definitely into the occult and all of that. So, he probably knew a couple of things. I'm just saying. He seems like he knew a couple of things. And he spoke about that, how we would be seeing those type of signs before it all took place. Well, once it hits the ionosphere, it creates like the greenhouse gas effect, right? Which you're told is climate change. And because of the methane, it creates like a film, basically, to where energy can't escape like it normally could, and it gets trapped in here. And as this charges up more and more, that's why 42 people die in a lightning storm. That's why you see so many cyclones, tropical storms, hurricanes, right? It's cyclonic energy within the air, charged energy within the air. Or you see shit like this, right? Water spouts. And notice how it literally comes out like it's gotten too heavy or something, and it drops down into the water. It's the reversing of polarity within the sky. It's magnetism here too. And you're made up of 80% water. So this is a big process with all of us. This is why it's affecting the water, because it's affecting you too, right? You're part of the water. That's the waters above the firmament, right? In the heavens. So we see these type of things taking place because of the exchange of energy, and it's creating all of these different catastrophic weather systems. You'll see because of the charging, because of the electricity, 6 months worth of rain pour in 2 hours, right? Super massive amounts of swarms taking place on all of the major faults. I mean, hundreds and hundreds, right? Because it's all discharging. People coming down with cancers and shit like that. They're being radiated, dying of sepsis, or the process of the iron oxide being turned into ferrous oxide, creating spontaneous combustion, like what we seen in, Beirut, Lebanon? Beirut, Lebanon. Let me see if I can pull that one up here and show you what I'm talking about there. You'll literally see the charging in the air too. And they tell you it's like fireworks and shit going off. No way, homie. This was ferrous oxide, and this was spontaneous combustion. And the same thing is happening all along the coast. Methane explosions. They're telling you they're from pipelines and shit like that. They have fracked all the way along the fault lines in America and all over the world to allow for that energy to release easier, right? And I don't know if it's because they want more of us to die, or because they think if they ease the tension of the energy, they can keep it secret, longer, and people won't find out up until it's too late. Or maybe they think they can survive this. I don't know, And by they, I mean the fallen, the Nephilim. And watch this too. This is crazy, man. Once again, you're being told about, bullshit explosions and fireworks and all of this.
Extraordinary images tonight of deadly explosions felt by millions in Lebanon. Blasts that shook a city and injured thousands. This was the first, coming just after 6 in the evening at Beirut's main port, sending up a plume of thick smoke. Beneath it, fires raging and flashes of...
You see it? Excuse me, you see it right there? The flashes? Watch right here. Let me pull it out the way you can see. Right here, watch.
Fires raging and flashes of light, filmed by nearby residents. None of them could have guessed what would happen next. A second massive explosion that some described as like an earthquake. A mushroom cloud of debris and seawater blasted into the air.
And notice, the cloud was red first, right? It was red. You seen the sparks taking off, and then boom, right? The spontaneous combustion, and it looks just like a nuclear bomb, doesn't it? Huh. I wonder, do you think something like that would, be covered up through like a global war or something, possibly? So imagine this process continuing to take place to the point that it's at now, to where the energy that's hitting the ionosphere is not just turning into a gas form, and we're seeing it in auroras the way we are everywhere, but there's so much of it now that it's becoming plasmatic, right? It's becoming plasmatic, and like the water spout, how it got heavy and then dropped down, same thing. The plasma builds up and it gets heavy and then comes down in the form of a fireball. The form of a fireball. That's why we see the fireballs all over the place right now. Let me see if I got an image of a fireball right here. And I believe that that's why a lot of what they're talking about here with the asteroids, why they really have no way to stop any of them, or they really have no way of prediction power. You know, are these asteroids the same thing? You know, plasmatic buildup that gets, heavy and magnetically attracts and comes flying down, right? Is that what happens? Or do they know that possibly a moon or part of this system is going to crash into the firmament, and that's how it's going to happen? See, I believe that it's going to be Apophis still to this day. I believe it's going to be Apophis that breaks the firmament open and allows for the destroyer to, basically act as the great filter, for everything. Now watch. NASA just does this exercise. And you have where is it at? Here. A giant asteroid is moving close to Earth. What's in the information? The U.S. Space Agency NASA is moving across an asteroid galaxy larger than the Statue of Liberty at a speed of 61,155 kilometers an hour, which will move closer to Earth on Thursday. According to the British newspaper Daily Star, NASA Center for Objects Near Earth confirmed the existence of a space rock through its website. And the European Space Agency said the asteroid was only discovered on May 3rd. Named NASA's NEO Earth Close Approach List 2021 JF1, the asteroid is approaching the entire galaxy at 38,000 miles per hour. And NASA said the estimated diameter of 2021 JF1 will be 95 to 210 meters. We're going to take a glance back at that exercise too, and you're going to see some similarities here, which is 93 meters taller than the Statue of Liberty in New York. And notice how they keep comparing it to the Statue of Liberty. Why? Well, it's very simple. Because the asteroid, when it does impact, right, this asteroid that's going to hit the Earth, it's going to land in the Atlantic Ocean. That's why Comet Atlas C19, right, just like what's going on, 19, Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System Survey. That's the oh shit system, right? And Atlas means of the Atlantic. You get me? So, and once again, Atlas, like I even said back then, would break into pieces because they're just covering up for the Nemesis system. And it burns green, cyan green, because it's made up of cyanide, right? These different reactions that are taking place are giving off different forms of gas. And Tamara Morgan, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. Thank you so much for that. Now, the giant space rock will pass about 3.2 million miles. And it may seem far away, but that's relatively close to space. NASA considers anything close to Earth to be 120 million miles. And this one, KT1, an asteroid potentially taller than the Eiffel Tower. Notice once again, this is a symbol of a country. Remember how Nostradamus, and let me pull it up so you can see what I'm talking about, talks about Jupiter in France. Right? Where's it at here? Where is it at? Yeah, right here. So very horrible that the young, the old, or beast, blood, fire, Mercury, Mars, Jupiter in France. Jupiter in France, right? And notice Babylon talks about that great city, that harlot too. That's the Statue of Liberty, which is New York City, the capital of the United Nations, right? This is all symbolic. This is all of, basically, when it's talking about not one stone being left on top of the other, these are the temples, you know, to the destroyer god that have been built. These are the 10 horns of the beast, right? These are the 10 horns of the beast, the Washington Monument, you know, the Eiffel Tower, these phallic symbols representing the beast system. And it's going down, right? It's being destroyed. It's crumbling, literally. And we're watching it happen in every aspect. Social cataclysms, economic, political, I mean, all of it. And it says that horrible war, which is being prepared in the West. The following year will come the pestilence, so very horrible that young, old, nor beast, blood, fire, Mercury, Mars, Jupiter in France. There you go, right? This is following a horrible war that's being prepared in the West, World War III. The United States right now, what are they doing? You know, they're sending destroyers everywhere. They're moving troops from Afghanistan to be able to deploy them, you know, into South China Sea. They're in the Strait of Hormuz, the Black Sea. I mean, they are starting shit. They're on a war footing, and they've been on one. And they're becoming more and more aggressive with their threats and sanctions and all of this. It's because we've been sold out, though. You know, these puppet presidents and politicians sold you out, sold us all out, right? And they're making sure that not only will our allies go down with us, but that we will go down, well, in an hour, right? In an hour. A great millstone was thrown into the sea, and with that same force, Babylon will be thrown down. It's telling you. Now, when that mountain set ablaze is thrown into the sea, that's the fall of Babylon. And look at the Bible. It's telling you same thing. Now the dragon's tail swept a third of the stars in heaven and hurled them towards the earth. The dragon stood before the woman who was about to give birth, so that he might devour her child as soon as it was born. Now, in this verse here, I challenge you to think of it a little bit differently. Okay? A little bit differently. If this dragon, this second sign that appears, a huge red dragon, which means a fabulous kind of serpent, right? And on the 1,260 days, what did we see? Apophis passed on the exact day, which is depicted as a serpent, the god of chaos and darkness, right? Who is in a battle against the sun god Ra, Jupiter, right? And basically, right, he is also called a dragon too, this fabulous kind of serpent. So it says that he appears. And then right here, right, mentioned again, is this dragon Apophis here too? Then the dragon stood before the woman who was about to give birth. Was or is Apophis in Virgo? Is that possible? Right? Is that possible? And he might devour her child as soon as it was born. And this is him and Jupiter. And look at the depiction of Apophis. Right? Look at it. You'll see right here what I'm talking about. I don't know what I just did right there. Right here. See how he's depicted as a serpent or a dragon? And all of them. Where's the one I want to show you? The most famous one here. Right there. And I'll show you a bigger depiction of it in a second too. Let's go ahead and get that one too. Right there. Bam. Bam. Let me zoom in on this. And the dragon stood before the woman who was about to give birth. Who she give birth to? A child, a male child, who will rule the nations with an iron scepter or an iron rod. There is Jupiter, right there, the king planet, sitting on the throne, ruling with the iron scepter or the iron rod. There is Set, right? Or when it talks about the king of the Angelmoi, right? The month of the angel, right? Which is the 7th or Set month. July, Julius Caesar, as in Rome, or a depiction of Babylon, another transformation of the Babylonian system. And there's Apophis, right there, standing before the child, right, as he's about to be born, right? And these are the two brothers, in my opinion, right? This would be the god of light and truth. Maat is what they call it in Egypt, Ra. And then you have the god of the underworld, right? Right there. And Apophis, right there. So would this be Jupiter and Saturn, or Jupiter and Mars? I'm not sure who Set would actually represent. Satan, I would assume Saturn would be who he would represent. And then look here. Here's another depiction. Wow, that's little. Bam. There it is. There's a whole story right there. See? See the sun god Ra? There's his scepter sitting on the throne. There's Set with his spear. There is Apophis. And now you can see what these lines mean. Right? They're connected to all of this back here. And I don't know if you guys can see what those are what they actually are, but they look like, I want to say like chariots of some kind, right? They're all the same. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very strange. And then you have the goddess. Is this standing before the woman as she's about to give birth? Very strange. Very strange. So I'm thinking maybe that whenever they're talking about all of this, that's who they're really talking about, is Apophis, because he's the one who popped up, right? He's the one who popped up, not anyone else. Everybody else was expecting Inky, right? And if we look at, and I'm not saying Inky won't be a part of all of this. Lucifer is the emperor of the underworld, so he would also be the depiction of Set as well. So that would have been Enlil and Inky hanging out on that boat with Apophis right there. And this huge space rock known as 2021 KT1 will make its close approach to our planet on June 1st. Remember the blood moon we just had. And there's some interesting videos pertaining to it too as well. Remember what I told you. In the Jewish text it states, not sure if I have it here, but I should. Right here, yeah. The Jewish text it states, a blood moon means a sword is coming. A lunar eclipse is a bad omen for Israel. And now remember, in the order of how all this goes, prophetically, we go all the way back here. Revelations 12. We would be, at this point, the dragon swept a third of the stars and hurled them to the earth. Then the dragon stood before the woman who was about to give birth, so that he might devour her child. As soon as it was born, the woman gave birth to a son, a male child, who is going to rule all the nations with an iron rod. Her child was suddenly caught up to God and to his throne, and she fled into the wilderness, where a place had been prepared for her by God, so she could be taken care of for 1,260 days. Same story here. Then war broke out in heaven. Michael, or Jupiter, and his angels fought against the dragon. Which would be the serpent here. And the dragon and his angels fought back. Are his angels all of these guys? Is that what we're seeing here? Is that what they're trying to depict? See? Michael and his angels. See these guys with him? And the dragon and his angels. This is the war in heaven that's being depicted right here. She's taken to a place in the wilderness. See how she's off to the side? Right? And they're telling you, because they're on a boat, a spaceship, right, that this takes place in the sky, in the heavens. And this shape as well, if you look at it, I believe also would represent the firmament too, right? The firmament. And the dragon and his angels fought back, but the dragon was not strong enough to prevail, and there was no longer any place left in heaven for him and his angels. So that huge dragon, that ancient serpent, the one called the devil and Satan, who deceives the whole world, was thrown down to the earth, and his angels along with him. Now think about that. The dragon was thrown down to the earth. Are they talking about Apophis striking the earth? And when I was pointing out in Nostradamus, same thing. Right here. The year 1999, 7-month, right? 99942, asteroid Apophis. He's telling you the year 999, right? 999 Apophis. He's a serpent. You think it's a coincidence? Go ahead. 7-month, right? Set, right? Set. From the sky will come a great king of terror. Apophis is the god of chaos and darkness. To bring back to life the great king of the Angelmoi, which means the angel month, right? Or month of the angel, which would be July. Right? Or set. So you see here, it's saying it. 999, 7-month, which would put us in also July, right? From the sky will come the great king of terror, Apophis, to bring back to life the great king of the underworld, basically. Before and after Mars, to reign by good luck. And like I said, would he also be depicted as Mars, sitting there in front of Jupiter? It's showing you all of it, man. The whole damn thing. The whole damn thing. And it tells you, then suddenly one will see vengeance, 100-hand thirst, hunger, when the comet will run. And it is a comet planet. In cosmic terms, the word close is relative, although NASA includes the past in its close approaches data table. The asteroid will in fact zoom past the Earth at a distance of around 4.5 million miles. And like I just said to you, that 4.5, that 4 million is supposed to be the distance Nemesis passes. This is nearly 19 times the distance between the Earth and the Moon. Still, the asteroid is thought to be quite large and will be traveling at a speed at around 40,000, there's your 40, during its close approach, nearly 20 times as fast as a rifle or bullet. Now remember, 99942. 40,000, 20 times, right? 4, 2. The zeros don't count. 4, 2. It's right in there. And I'm just saying also, when it says the 999, or the quatrain that talks about all of this happening too. Right here. Let me go. Is 944. Nostradamus. Right here. Bam. See? IX verse 44. Leave of Geneva, not a single person will be spared. This was the exact coordinates they gave in PDC 2021 exercise for the impact. That was the first projected impact, was CERN, the Large Hadron Collider. And remember, Nostradamus is saying that what? Apophis, the king of terror, will bring back to life Abaddon, Apollyon, Satan, the destroyer, Saturn. Leave of Geneva, not a single person will be spared. Saturn will change from gold to iron. Will change from spirit to AI, and ray pods will exterminate all those against him before the advent. The heavens will show signs. Crazy as shit. And here's your signs. Look at that. There's that red broken sphere that sits in front of the Vatican, going across the camera. Do you think the sign was the blood moon? The super blood moon, which means the coming of a sword and a bad omen for Israel. We look at the horseman. The first horse was wearing a crown, a corona, right? See, 19, right? Comet 19, Atlas of the Atlantic, right? That's where Babylon is hit to fall, okay, by an asteroid. That's 99942, the 42 months. And he's the serpent, he's the dragon, and we're seeing all of these different signs that are validating every single thing that basically is taking place right now. Every scripture that we've been given is being validated 1,000,000 times over, and it's showing us that NASA knows what the fuck is up, man. They know exactly what's up. They had the whole thing with the DART thing, with Didymus, which Dimorphos, which means two names, right? Right, two names, Didymus and Dimorphos, using DART to redirect that. That was part of PDC. All of a sudden, now we have a giant ass fucking asteroid supposed to be coming by really close, and they just discovered it on May 3rd. Right? Bullshit. You know what I mean? They know what's coming, guys. They know what's coming. And if you think about May 3rd, it's three fives, right? Which is 15. 1 plus 5 is 6. That's the Masonic cube, how they come up with 666. 3 5. So 3 times 5 is 15. 1 plus 5 is 6. Do you see how they're putting the numbers in everything? Then the verse in the quatrain 944 talking about Saturn becoming AI, coming from gold to iron. And then Daniel, the prophet, talking about the iron mixed with miry clay, right? So humanity becoming transhumanist is what they are, or that is also the abomination of desolation when Cyrus built the third temple, right? And we've seen the abomination of desolation standing in the place of God. It's happening, right? Because that's your magnetic pole. And now all of a sudden, just like what this is crazy, just like what the Colburn spoke about, saying the heralds of doom, right? They wouldn't be recognized for who they are. Nostradamus said the gods will present a horrible war. Now we have this UFO agenda being pushed down big time. Remember that when this hole is opened up too, that Michael is given the keys to the bottomless pit. Right? Michael's given the keys to the bottomless pit. If you look at the story, that's what it's showing you too. This is what's wild about all of this. So Jupiter is Michael. Where's the whole one here? Right? Jupiter is Michael. Michael's given the keys to the bottomless pit. Right? And the dragon appears, right? And there's a third of the angels with him. Right there. Right there. As the two brothers, or the three brothers, if you include the Eye of Horus over here, right? Fighting this war in heaven. And perhaps, in my opinion, like I said, this would be the firmament and the earth would be right here. So you would see the serpents trying to come through the firmament. And it's like showing you almost. See how they're connected? It's like right there. That's where he comes through at, right? The third of the angels and the locust, right, from the bottomless pit come in. Could these be the locusts that they're talking about? Right? That descend upon us, the third of the stars that follow him. You know, quite possibly. And now you have all this UFO shit preparing you for the alien invasion. The third of the stars. Remember, stars are known as princes, heavenly hosts, or angels, watchers, messengers. That's who they are. Or governors, archons. Or how would you say? We're not going to play the music and get a copyright. But millions of UFOs appear over South Africa. No, they don't. That's hail. That's hail. I don't know if you guys can see it. Fire and brimstone. Let me replay that one real quick. Look at this. Watch them. Everything's a UFO to these people. See? Tail of the dragon. Tail of the dragon. See how it's spiraling? That's the tail of the dragon. Take it back one more time. Hopefully you can see this. I don't know if you can see it on your screen here. But when it comes in, I want you to watch it right here. See? See it? How it's like spiraling like a big snake. Tail of the dragon. Pretty wild. Check this out.
Come on, land it, land it.
Get down, baby, get down.
Land it. Is it standing? It's standing. It's standing.
It's standing.
Oh my gosh. Let's see. They're launching all this shit up there. I think it's for Starlink to try to put they're going to try to do what the Nephilim done or the Anunnaki did the last time. To be above the earth as all the chaos takes place down here. People are fucking nuts with this stuff. Now this one, man, they're saying that this is proof of the flat earth, but you can be the judge. I don't think the shape matters. But I would agree. I think it's a toroidal field or, you know, like a snow globe or something. It's so crazy. What? Has anybody seen that one before? That can't be fucking real, man. That's so funny. God, sorry. Check this out. Remember the Colburn describes the ruddy red glow and the fire and billowing smoke. There you go. Here's your ruddy red glow and your fire.
But I'm using my internet on my...
And billowing smoke. And these people with the fisheye lens thing, man. You can see that object right there going past. Wow. Another fireball. Another fireball. And see, it's green. Like I said, every fucking time, guys. Every fucking time. And that's why the waters become wormwood. Cyanide's poison, right? And they're burning cyan green because they're made up of cyanide, right? That's why. Watch it light up. Right here. Right there. See, I believe that this is like a plasma reaction happening. Period. Plasma reaction in the sky. Space could be water and it wouldn't matter. Check this one out. This is fucking crazy. You can see it plain as day. And remember what I was talking about too, with how the clouds appear to be behind the sun, that this could literally be due to the magnetism being so strong, right, that it's making the light like glare off of the field or energetic field around these objects. Look at this. See to the left here? I don't know if you guys can see this on your screen or not. Let me make the little chat box smaller. And I believe this was just the moon. I think the big dog is still behind this thing. Let's check it out. You got YouTube for some reason has got you guys way behind me too. Jana trend. I like the way you describe John. What did I miss something? John is a very special man. He's very rare, very beautiful soul, blessed with knowledge and sight, history that most cannot comprehend. His words shared comes from experience, wisdom, and by grace. Well, thank you so much. That was beautiful. Yeah, my words aren't my own, man. They're everything I do, I give credit to God. Straight up, dude. I knew none of these things, guys. Not none of them. You know, I was always like a 4.0 student and all of that stuff, but I didn't know real knowledge. I was a good slave, is what I was, right? Like I was smart at the mind control. I was good at repeating. I was a good parrot, good little monkey. But I knew none of these things. I had a dream and I was shown it. And I just knew it was true. And I knew it was real because I was asked to be shown. And ever since then, my life has been flipped upside down. And most people would guarantee be dead by now. A couple of times at least. And the only reason I'm not is because of God protecting me, and every single thing that I receive from the Father, and you guys. The Father works through you guys too. I wouldn't be able to do any of this if you guys didn't, bless my life by, donating and supporting and watching and sharing and commenting and liking and all of that. So the Father blesses my life through you guys mostly. God works through us. And when I tell you guys at the end of shows that you restored my faith in humanity, I'm not lying to you. I grew up rough, really hard life. And, I didn't believe that there were good people at all. I had never experienced any until I started doing this. And then I met the most beautiful souls on planet Earth. And now I feel like it's humbling to me to be able to be in your presence, if that makes sense to you guys. I know it sounds weird probably to some, but I'm humbled and I'm in awe of the fact that I feel as if I'm in the presence of the elect. Does that make sense? No? Yes? But that's the way I feel. Seriously. I feel like I'm so lucky to even be, you know what I mean? I'm so lucky to be in the presence of true greatness. True greatness. And that's the truth. Look at this shadow, too. This is what I'm talking about, y'all. You can see this giant dark shadow right here. I think this little red guy's just the moon, man. This is just the moon that's coming around this thing. That broken spear, that's probably Apophis, man. Apophis is... It says that Apophis was made to, encircle the earth or encircle Ra, one of the two. Do you guys remember when I was reading on Apepi and all of that? Saying he was, it's saying he orbits it. And this big, giant, red, cracked piece of shit that the Vatican seems to worship could very well be him. Very well, I'm serious. It really could. Let's roll this one back here. Wow. And you can see the stripes in the sky. You can see the stripes. And you see the wings too, coming up here, right? This object's below the equatorial line of the sun, okay? So you're seeing its wings coming up from the horizon here. This is just a moon, guys. I'm just telling you, that's just a moon. That's not the real deal there. You can see it, right? Coming up right here, both sides. The wings coming up in front of the sun. It's getting ready to happen, man. We're there. We are there. Whether you want to buy into that or not, I don't give a fuck, honestly. I know what I know, and I feel what I feel. That's the truth of that, And you'll see here. This tradition is so similar to the Jewish tradition of the passage that some of the friars who came to America believed that the Indians of America were Jewish in origin. And I do believe that if there is an actual race of people that are the tribes of Israel, it is the Native Americans. That's my opinion. And I'm not trying to take anything away from the Black Hebrew Israelite movement. I don't know, honestly. I don't think it's a race thing, in my opinion. But they are tribes, right? And this is New Jerusalem, guys. Right? This is New Jerusalem. This is where the Phoenicians came. And there's a lot of different depictions of things. You'll see like in Missouri, they have these stones where they got kind of, and some people, I believe, Andrew Boogeyman was talking about these holes and stuff, and that they were like made for some type of way to like pour concrete, basically. Well, a lot of people believe that the holes in those rocks that he was talking about are actually for blood sacrifice to pour through, right? And they've got them in Missouri. There's hieroglyphs all over the Four Corners area, as well as Minnesota. It's just really, really nuts. How ancient the new land really is. I believe that, and think about Salem. It was short for Jerusalem, right? New Jerusalem. And the witch trials were the killing of midwives and herbalists, women that practiced and had influence because of their herbal medicines. They weren't, putting people under the spell of pharmakia. They were influential too, right? Like they were leaders of their community, and they sacrificed them, right? Pouring blood on the land, because that's what Babylon does. That's why they're responsible for all the blood. And you see here, it was conceived that somehow and somewhere in the far north, a series of gigantic waves was mysteriously propagated. These waves were supposed to have precipitated themselves upon the land, and then swept madly on over mountain and valley alike, carrying along with them a mighty burden of rocks and stones and rubbish. Such deluges were styled waves of translation, until the wave was believed to represent the materials which they hurried along with them in their wild course across the country. Or how about pestiferous wave, right? Samora Borin 100 leagues north of the North Hemisphere, right? Nostradamus. The stone and boulders on the hilltops and the mounds of sand and gravel in the lowlands were explained by this theory. And I'm looking for this here. The Chinese say that only since a new order of things. Do you know what a new order of things is? Anybody remember what a new order of things is? Neowise? Remember? Neowise means a new order of things. The Chinese say that only since a new order of things has come about, that the stars move from east to west. The signs of the Chinese zodiac have the strange peculiarity of proceeding in retrograde direction. That is, against the course of the sun. They're in opposition, proceeding in retrograde. In the Syrian city Ugarit, it was found a poem dedicated to the planet goddess Anat, who massacred the population of Levant, and who exchanged the two dawns and the position of the stars. The hieroglyphics of the Mexicans describe 4 movements of the sun: Nahui, Olin, Tonatu, and the Indian authors translate Alin by motions of the sun, where they find the number Nahui added, and the render Nahui Alin by the words sun. And the rabbinical authority flourished between 939 and 1038. Responses refer to the cosmic changes in which the sun rose in the west and set in the east. The Quran speaks of the Lord of two easts and two wests. 44, a sentence which presented much difficulty to the exegetes. Averroes, the Arab philosopher of the 12th century, wrote about the eastward and westward movements of the sun. Reference to the reversal of the movement of the sun have been gathered here and do not refer to one and the same time. The deluge, the end of the Middle Kingdom, and the days of Argive tyrants were separated by many centuries. The tradition heard by Herodotus of Egypt speak of 4 reversals. Later in the book, again, the book will deal with earlier catastrophes. And at this point, the reversal of Earth's rotation, referred in written and oral sources of many people, suggests the relation of one of these events to the cataclysm of the day of the Exodus. Like the quoted passage from the Visuddhimagga, the Buddhist text, and the cited tradition of the Kashinawa tribe in western Brazil. The versions of the tribes and people of all 5 continents, including the same elements familiar to us from the book of Exodus: lightning and the bursting of heaven, which caused the earth to be turned upside down, or heaven and earth to change places. On the Andaman Islands, the natives are afraid that a natural catastrophe will cause the world to turn over. That's very strange too in itself, guys, if you think about that. Right? That the bursting of heaven, that means the opening of the firmament due to lightning, right? A plasma strike, which caused the earth to be turned upside down and heaven and earth to change places. Well, if the earth was turned upside down and heaven and earth changed places, then guess what? Heaven's upside down, like I've been telling you. Just saying, right? It is the upside down. It's the bottomless pit. We are in the upside down. And Plutarch gives the following description of a derangement of seasons. The thickened air concealed from the heavens from view, and the stars were confused with a disorderly huddle of fire and moisture of violent fluxions of winds. The sun was not fixed to an unwandering and certain course, so as to distinguish Orient and Occident, nor did he bring the season in order. In another work of his, Plutarch ascribes these changes to Typhon, the destructive, diseased, and disorderly, who caused abnormal seasons, and temperatures. It is characteristic that in the written traditions of the peoples of antiquity, the disorder of the seasons is directly connected with the derangement in the motion of the heavenly bodies. The oral tradition of the primitive peoples in various parts of the world also retain memories of this change in movement of the heavenly bodies. The seasons, the flow of time during a period when darkness enveloped the world. As an example, the Orabi in Arizona, they say the firmament hung low and the world was dark, and no sun, no moon, no stars were seen. The people murmured because of the darkness and the cold. Think about it. A third of the sun is struck. A third of the earth is struck, right? Like all of these same things. Supposed to be happening now. Supposed to be taking place now as well. And we see it in everything. Check this out. This is a weird one right here. It's supposed to be a UFO. I'm going to mute this here. See how it's red? It was weird as shit, ain't it? Could this possibly be part of the system? Just when it was way out there? Like that other moon or something that a lot of people see? And you see like the energy charge coming off of it? That is crazy. And it's oval shaped too. Right? Then boom. Check this one out. Well, let me hit the strange moon sightings, starships in the red night sky. I believe I showed this red night sky too. This is Matt Rogers here, by the way. Look at this.
Just very interesting footage. It was caught at a split second. At first, this person again could see the streak, could see the formation, grabbed a camcorder and took this photograph with this video clip.
And let me just say this. I didn't get it uploaded to my computer because I hadn't been feeling well. But last night, I got video of the moon with an object. There was 2 moons last night. I got it on video, and I'm going to show it in the next show. And there was a dark object to the bottom left of it, but they were stacked on top of each other. Like, it was so weird. I got it on video last night.
I must also explain that, indeed as well, that these are video clips, real evidence of something else. Or again, it could be a plane, it could be man-made, but the device and the formation looks absolutely strange, where you see this area view side to this square shape, and to this area as well you see another square shape.
And check this out. Right here.
Very strange.
String of pearls, maybe?
Structures. Also like Bruce E's All channel, fantastic man, scientist and also an astronomer, a photographer that works very hard using technical advanced pieces of equipment. This is how it works. But indeed, also by analysing this photograph, there is something very different going on. You can see these strange artifacts, towers, or something else. This is close to the dark side of the moon, but indeed you can see these other objects and formations. This is very interesting evidence.
And this is going right along with what, like, the Boogeyman channel talks about with Sky Dome Atlantis, right? Artificial objects in the sky.
These dark entity formations, other light refractions that are moving away from the structure.
And remember too, when we were just looking at that old picture of the dragon, right? And how it had like 2 there, and I told you there was the dark one behind it. Look, you can see the stripes here. You can see like a moon right here to the top of this one. Very crazy. And this one is blood red too, with like wings. Very crazy. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Solar storm and dense CME from sunspot collides with the Earth. A solar storm collided with Earth yesterday as experts revealed a dense coronal mass ejection hit our planet. This has been a big thing, guys. Seriously. A lot of this happening right now. Geomagnetic storms on a daily basis. Here. A looming existential solar threat. A looming existential solar threat. Nadia Drake writes in the National Geographic that the sun is getting stormier. and that it'll peak following a total solar eclipse in 2024. Imagine that. It'll peak then. This goes right along with the 7-year tribulation, the final eclipse in 2024, and then the peak of the sun. Well, does it go nova then, right? When the heavens and the earth pass away, right? With a fervent heat, right? And the final conflagration. Fluffy ball of Darkinos may be lurking at the center of the Milky Way. Our galaxy's black hole may be something else entirely. See, they're telling you, man. They're telling you. They're calling it a black hole because it's a dark star. Spinning neutron star reveals new insights into elusive, continuous gravitational waves. And they're depicting what I was talking about at the very beginning right here. See the star here? And it's like pulsing. And then see the cloud around it, right? And how it's changed from, the hot to cold here. Very crazy. Very crazy. Where's it at? Rocket report. Russia plans nuclear space tug. Falcon heavy launch delays. Europe really needs to build infrastructure to get to space. All this space shit, man, I'm telling you, I think they're launching like survival pods or something up there. I really do. They think that they're going to escape. Rare super flower blood moon lunar eclipse captured in stunning photos from around the world. Remember, iPet Goat showed the flower and the sinking of socialism and the American, right before all the World War III stuff. Blood moon, meaning the, sword is coming, and the lunar eclipse, the bad omen for Israel. And where we're at in the horseman, right? The coronavirus of the crown chakra, or the Son of God. Then the red horse taking peace from the earth, the Abraham Accord peace treaty. Then the Libra scales, the CBDC, Alipay, stablecoin, and the pale green horse, the certificates, right, and the passports, and then the persecution of the saints. And we just had a super blood moon, means the coming of a sword, with a lunar eclipse, which means trouble for Israel. Pretty wild. Let's take a look here. If we can get it to show us here. And it's just going to spin. Great. Curiosity rover captures shining clouds on Mars. Oh, so the noctilucent clouds are on Mars too? I wonder why there's shit shining in the night sky on Mars too. And Mars is leaking red dust everywhere, by the way. And Mars is having big plumes and volcanic activity and all of these things. It's just really strange how, Mars is going through what appears to be the passing of the Nemesis system. Just weird as all. Just saying. Just putting it out there. You can take it or leave it. It's up to you. Texas failsafe. Generators failed, risking weeks-long catastrophe. Black start generators and their backups failed en masse during deep freeze. I'm seeing, this is what I mean, man. They're gassing you up. They're saying all these CMEs and hardening the infrastructure. This electromagnetic pulse is going to shut it all down. The whole world's going to go dark if this thing lights up big enough. UCF research flies 3 for 3 on Virgin Galactic Spaceship 2 Unity. 3 for 3 Spaceship 2. 3 3 spaceship 2, right? So 2 3s is 33, right? And the 2 times 33 would be 66. Right? The findings could help scientists better understand what would happen if astronauts or robotic landers were to work on the surface of a small asteroid. They couldn't do it. That's the truth. They're just, well, yeah, we're going to escape here. Even though we were slinging nuclear fucking bombs at the sky to try to get out of here. Of course. Yes, there's a video on right now. And here is 65803 Didymus. Right? I wonder if this has anything to do with the 6th thing. I wonder if it has anything to do with June. Look here. Solar sector boundary crossing. Earth's magnetic field is quieting as effects from the 26 CME subside. The calm should continue till the 30th when our planet is expected to cross through a fold in the heliospheric current sheet. The crossing, called a solar sector boundary crossing, could trigger minor geomagnetic activity. The crossing? A lightning bolt on the sun. Yesterday, during the late hours of May 27th, the magnetic canopy of the sunspot AR2824 became unstable and erupted. The blast expelled a mass of hot plasma that zigzagged across the surface of the sun like an oversized lightning bolt. I'm telling you guys. I'm telling you. They won't tell you, but I'm telling you. I don't give a fuck what they say. I'm telling you. Solar plasma and European magma. Look at that. Look at the activity on the sun, man. That's intense. The sun is temperamental, to say the least. The split image shows a striking difference between an active sun seen on the left during the April 2014 solar maximum and a quiet sun seen on the right during December 2019 solar minimum. Scientists predict the sun's activity will once again ramp up to a maximum in 2025. Right? I'm telling you, we're just now entering maximum. They're saying this shit's going to peak when it's all supposed to end. Very strange, to say the least. NASA has led 7 asteroid impact simulations. Only once did experts figure out how to stop the space rock from hitting. And right there you have 7 and 1, 17, or Q. Right? Don't you love how they put that stuff in everything? Literally. And recent simulations, a fictitious asteroid was approaching Earth, but experts couldn't stop it. NASA led 7 such simulations, and the participants only fully stopped the asteroid once. It shows how challenging it would be to stop an Earth-bound space rock, even with ample warning. Yeah, they can't fucking stop anything. Anything. The possibility of transfer of asteroids from the 2-1 mean motion resonance with Jupiter to the Centaur zone. This paper analyzes possible transfers of body from the main asteroid belt to the Centaur region. The orbit of asteroids in the 2-1 mean motion resonance with Jupiter are analyzed. We selected the asteroids that are in resonant orbits with whose absolute magnitudes do not excel 16. The total number of the orbits amount to 152. I'm sure they do. You could look at that 2 ways. 5 plus 2 is 7. 1 and 7, 17. Or you can look at it as 1 plus 5 is 6. 6 times 2, 66. Right? Or 1 plus 5 plus 2 is 8. Right? Dude, I'm telling you, they put it in everything. NASA simulation reveals how to stop Texas-sized asteroid. What protects Earth from space collisions? The National Aeronautics and Space Administration conducts a new asteroid simulation to show the thing needed to destroy an approaching giant heavenly body that could lead to Earth's destruction. Scientists are hoping to find out more about the origins of the universe by studying the comet. The space agency's latest experiment, revealed that the plot twist of the popular iconic movie Armageddon is unlikely to happen. Yeah. Matter of fact, if you want to see what's going to happen, let's take a real look right here. This is how the shit's gonna go down. Right here, guys. This is how it's gonna go down. Right here. You want to see what it's all gonna play out as? I gotcha. And let me put that link open on something else too. That's that red sky I showed you the other day. And everybody who's in the chat, please, please, please make sure that you're hitting the thumbs up and hitting the like, guys. I really, really need everybody to do that. You know, hit that thumbs up for me. And if you're on Facebook, please comment like crazy. That's what helps. And share in all the little groups and stuff. And, you know, those of you who know, you know, right now I got some, you know, some problems going on, and I really need everybody to help me get this stuff out there, and help me every way possible you can, because this is like my livelihood, and you know, this is how I take care of things. So please donate, support, share, and make sure you're hitting that thumbs up and you know, commenting. They wouldn't. That's the fucking truth. Now check this one out. Let me show you. This is the truth, man. They're not playing games, guys. They want you to not to make it. Put it that way. They want you not to make it. Did I just play 2 or 1?
Suicide adhered to the Mayan calendar, which predicts the end of time to occur on the 21st of December of this year.
how symbolic was that? How symbolic was that? And this is your first, seals and trumpets. This is a third of the green grass being burned up and all of that. Right there. Right there. Right there. That's the mark of the beast is what they're showing, guys. It's the mark of the beast is what they're showing. See? Man, his physical body, the brain, the pineal, the place of God. See the crack between it? The severed connection? They've cut the silver cord. They're showing you when it's going to happen. And think about December 21st, 2012. What about December 21st, 2021? Right? 12, 21, 21. Just saying. That's a possibility as well.
I thought we'd have more time.
And that's the land masses rising and falling, like in Cascadia, right? Where it's a subduction zone where the Juan de Fuca plate is literally sitting right there in a slow slip where it's just hanging on by a thread. And what it's going to do is slip and go down into the ocean, generating earthquakes, they say 30 to 40 times more powerful than the big one in San Andreas Fault, including tsunamis that are going to destroy places like Japan and everywhere, basically, from the shock wave.
He said that the government is building these ships.
The government is building these ships. Starlink. They're building these ships. See? Just saying. They put the truth in a lot of this. And this was one movie where there's a scene that they're in Yellowstone and he's talking to the scientist, and it shows on the screen like a bunch of different names. And all the names are scientists that are dead that exposed Planet X.
So when do we let the people know?
Our mission is to assure the continuity of our species.
Wasn't it also decided that people have the right to fight for their lives? No matter what happens, we'll all stay together.
Now, I'm just saying, I want to point out a couple of things here. it was, I think, the JFK 67. 6 plus 7, 13, right? The reason the 13's not on elevators and all of that, right, is because it was the unlucky day of when the comet would come past, according to the ancient Jews.
Keep your eye on Alaska, as well as Washington, Oregon, and California for volcanic activity. Now, this is the collapsed scar. The reason, it is basically a volcano on top of a volcano. And I will go over it in just a minute to explain. Remember, it's 52% silicon. Just like what is taking place this in Hawaii, and it's totally different from Mount St. Helens here in the main part of the United States. But also, it erupted way back in 2018, and it has erupted a number of times, and it's 52% silicon. And what I mean by that, that is a type of lava that runs like a river. Okay, it's totally different from Mount St. Helens. That's what I was talking about.
And that basalt, it's like a double whammy. It's basically the safest thing you can be on to repel the plasma discharges, right? And to keep from being hit by lightning, but it comes from lava, right? So you're fucked either way, basically. That's why nobody makes it through this shit, because, well, they, everything that's happening, whether it's gales of wind that will start at 1,000 miles per hour, and they kind of weaken as they go towards each pole, each direction, or as the Arctic ice breaks, sending and generating tsunamis, as the different, continental plates and subduction zones slip, generating tsunamis. That's why we had in March, 3 separate tsunami exercises: Pacifics, Lantex, and Caribex 21, right? That's why the wall was built for a tidal wave. This is, you're not going to be able to be anywhere. No, you won't be able to stay in one place and survive this. This is, my point to all of this. You've got the coastlines and all of this. Think about the asteroid impact itself. Right? The asteroid impact itself, what that would do. And they're telling you, we need 5 to 10 years to stop a killer asteroid from heading for Earth. Yeah, I bet you do. They can't stop any of this stuff. Not at all. They just think they can. Let me show you right here too. Just kind of take you back. Yeah. And see, and they put it in everything. They put it in everything. Why the right video ain't popping up here? Where's click? Where is click? But it shows you, right? The rocket and everything. Hold on. And I don't know if you guys have been having this problem, guys, but I'm telling you what, my internet has been acting so weird. And see here, NASA attempted to stop a simulated asteroid impact, but failed. But failed. They can't stop any of it, man. They're literally at the mercy of, creation, just like, we are here. And they're trying to get you to, believe that they have the power to, to play God, basically. That's what they do. They want you to believe that they can play God, that they're in control of all things. Let's see if we can get this here.
Interesting stuff that's coming up. Here's what I'm just going to do. I'm just going to let you... Is an image that's from the hieroglyph. It's half devil, half sheep. And it came from the dead sheep. So we have this common denominator here. Well, let me show you something else. I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it down here. And then here's another image from the book I used on the Just a Messenger series. And I'm going to show you guys really quick. Sorry I wasn't queued up for it, guys. But just bear with me for a sec.
That's an old one. That's back when he first started here. Let me see if I can get this one to pop up, guys. I apologize. I just want to show you, though. And see, giant tsunami tidal wave destroys New York City. 1933 historical film. Wow. There it is. Anybody think that this is possibly predictive programming? 1933? 1933 is when this was made. And it's showing New York being destroyed by a tidal wave. Really weird, right? And that's what I mean, man. They put this shit, they've been lacing this shit for how long now? For how long now? And I guess the video is just not gonna fucking pop up, the one that I want here. But you guys have seen it. And matter of fact, we'll show this instead.
Mr. Rittenhouse, Jenny Lerner, MSNBC. If we could just talk about Ellie. He had a private phone line installed in his office.
Turn your camera off.
I think the president knows about it too.
Okay, Secretary of the Treasury resigns because of a mistress named Ellie. Okay.
If she knows, how long can it be before CNN or the Post breaks the story?
Mr. President, I'm not interested in using Ellie to further my career.
What do you know about Ellie?
Congratulations. You now have the biggest story in history.
A few minutes ago, the United States ambassadors to every country in the world told the leaders of those nations what I'm about to tell you. Last summer, 2 comets were discovered that are on a collision course with Earth.
Oh my God.
The smaller comet will hit first,
We now have the details.
creating a tidal wave over 3,000 feet high. The larger comet is the size of New York City, 500 billion tons. If it can't be stopped, all life on Earth will perish. So for the past 8 months, the United States and Russia have been building the largest spaceship ever constructed, the Messiah. This is the crew that will stop the comets. We all hope for the best, but we've prepared for the worst. To ensure our way of life goes on, a network of immense caves has been constructed. We're going to hold a national lottery. We can put 1 million people in them for 2 years. It is our new Noah's Ark.
If you marry me, I can get you into the Ark, so you can live.
No men and women over 50 will be included in the lottery.
Don't worry about me. I'm going to be happy as long as I know you're going to live.
To have and to hold.
If the world does go on.
To love and to cherish.
It might not go on for everyone.
Till death.
And notice there is the wedding, right? The bride, the bridegroom, right? This is part of, end times events, right? That's what all of this is about. Ellie, extinction level event. A lot of people believe that Comet Elenin, right? Elenin was the signal of Planet X's arrival, and that's why so much shit popped out when Elenin actually came by. That was the signal to let all the elites know it had begun. The deep underground military base and the tunnel system that they have for everyone, right?
Doing part.
Be good. Be good.
Good luck to us all.
And 2 asteroids, right? Didymos, Dimorphos, 2, right?
We have to go. We have 1 helicopter can hold 7 people.
The big one's coming up fast.
You're gonna die if you stay here.
We need the arming codes for the last 4 nukes.
Come on!
We've lost picture.
Messiah, this is Houston. Come on, Messiah.
How's my time?
It's taking too long.
We got jammed up at 75 feet.
We're losing one.
Time! Get the hell out of there!
Oh my God! I want you to take the baby. I'm not taking the baby. Daddy.
And notice it's hitting New York City. And if you look at the Bible, it's a mountain set ablaze is thrown into the sea. And then a star fell like a torch, right, from the heavens. Didymorphos, right, Dimorphos, Didymos. 2. They put it all right out there in front of your face. Asteroid Day TV launches the 1st of June, kicking off the countdown to Asteroid Day. 2021, the 30th of June. The countdown to Asteroid Day? That's weird. The 30th of June. And if you look at that, right? 3 June is 6, right? 3 6s, right? 3 6. Then you have 2021, right? So that would be 2 3 66, 3 June. It's crazy as fuck. They put this stuff in everything, guys. I'm telling you, everything is coded. Everything. I don't care what you look at. New released radar footage shows UFOs swarming Navy ships. Oh no, not UFOs swarming the Navy.
Track 781 just sped up to 46 knots, 50 knots, closing in. Oh, 138 knots.
That one's pretty much perfectly 000 relative, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and see, man, that's the same guy who did the Bob Lazar documentary. I wonder if he's in the CIA or something like that. And this is some disinformation campaign. Unthinkable discovery in Canada as the remains of 215 children found buried near residential school. And then, once again, look at the number, right? 1 plus 5 is 6. 2 6s, 66, or 2 plus the 6 is the 8 again. See, is it a coincidence that every fucking thing we look at has the same type of number theme to it at the same time? And this happens all the time.
Government is set to release an unclassified report on UFOs maybe as early as next week.
What was once considered a joke is now seen by a lot of people as a genuine national security issue. Ex-government officials are increasingly outspoken about it. Even former President Barack Obama conceded this month there are things that they simply cannot explain.
What is true, and I'm actually being serious here, is that there's footage and records of objects in the skies that we don't know exactly what they are.
Our next guest is the former director of the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program at the Pentagon. And here's what he said on 60 Minutes a few weeks ago.
Imagine a technology that can do 600 to 700 G-forces, that can fly at 13,000 miles an hour, that it can evade radar, and that can fly through air and water and possibly space. And, oh, by the way, has no obvious signs of propulsion, no wings, no control surfaces, and yet still can defy the natural effects of Earth's gravity. That's precisely what we're seeing.
And Luis Elizondo joins.
Yeah, it's a fucking asteroid, right? It's an asteroid. I believe they're... And here's your GMO salmon heading to dinner plates. Good luck with that one. The Tomorrow War.
Okay, none of you are my child. Has anyone seen Miri? Aww.
We are fighting a war 30 years in the future.
Is this a joke?
Our enemy is not human. We need you to fight.
I got drafted.
I will be back.
Why is this happening? What about the teachers' deferment and the veterans' deferment?
If I don't go, they're going to draft you in my place. But if something does happen to me, you and Miri will be taken care of.
If something happens to you, Dan, 70% of draftees do not return.
Sometimes a man does what's best for his family, not himself.
Move your shirt, please.
What's this for?
It's just a test. Oh, a seatbelt. Was it a driving test? No? You don't have jokes in the future?
This device facilitates your jump to and from the future war.
1 minute to jump.
Oh, here, buddy. Take that. You just look around like that.
How are you so calm?
Long story.
Are you ex-military?
Yeah. Kind of a short story, I guess.
3, 2, 1. In 11 months' time, all human beings in the future will be wiped from the face of the earth. Unless you help us.
I was trying to save my daughter. If I gotta save the world to save her, then I'm gonna do it.
This is the end. The human species will disappear from the face of the earth. We are literally living on borrowed time.
There's still a chance that we can stop this war from ever happening. So we gotta fight.
Well, it's nice knowing you.
Huh, man. You know, it's really strange. You know, all the UFO stuff coming out, and you know they're dropping these series and all of this about the Tomorrow War. And guys, I'm serious. This shit's just nuts, man. You can't make it up, man. You really can't. You just can't make it up. I'm gonna go ahead and end this one tonight, man. I'm getting pretty tired. Actually, I've not been feeling too well lately. I want to thank all of you guys for watching. I want to ask everybody, please, if you're watching this right now, hit the like for me. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the like for me. Please comment.
Getting stuck sucks. At HostGator, you...
Please comment. And please share this. Share this link. It doesn't cost a thing to share. So please share it and get it out there for me. And if you can, consider donating and supporting. Tomorrow night, I'm free this weekend. I don't have my children or anything like that right now. They're with their mother because of just the way I've been feeling here lately. So I will be doing the private show tomorrow night on Discord. So everybody, please consider checking that out. Join the Discord. It's free. I'm going to let everybody in tomorrow. I'm going to stream it. And I'm going to put the downloaded episode in a Dropbox for people that have trouble like watching the stream and stuff like that. So you can download it afterwards. Please consider donating and supporting. Right now, very obviously, we lost our main Patreon. We're getting censored, and then just all of the other shit going on. I just need all the help I can get. If you guys can help, I would really, really appreciate it. And to the few of you who have, thank you. Thank you. I just can't say that enough to you guys. A couple of you guys have been really, really cool and really good to me, and I appreciate that. Like I do. It's very rare these days to see people be selfless and kind and giving and just all of that. So I do appreciate that, and it speaks volumes, I think, to your character and just to who you are as a person, And I know people don't like to give YouTubers money and all of that kind of stuff. I get it. There's a stigma with that. Mostly, I think it's just because, they've gotten people trained to not do it for now, so they could stop, people from growing to where they would, not be able to depend on these platforms and all of this. And I've never built my platforms on depending on YouTube or Facebook or anything. I've always depended on you guys. I've invested in you guys. And that's what I've done differently than the others. And I think that's why I'm still here and the others aren't, if I'm being totally honest. If I'm being totally honest. And I think it was a great investment because I've got to learn so much from you, so much fellowship, friendship, receive so much love, man. Just positive prayers and vibes and good thoughts. Like, people have no idea how far that goes into helping a person heal, into helping a person just lift their spirits, and even, like, if you're going through something tough, man, and you got people in your corner, like, it's, a lot of people shut down, give up, and get depressed. And I'm not going to say that doesn't happen to me. It does, but you get back up because you got people, nudging you and telling you to get back up, and that's a big thing. That's what we're here for, is for each other. Really, like we are. We're supposed to love one another as we love ourselves. We're supposed to lift each other up. We're supposed to take care of each other. It's not just called Best Damn Fam for, because it's catchy. I mean, it is catchy, though, you gotta admit. But it describes, the environment I've been trying to create for years now, is an environment of family. I didn't want some superficial fucking fan club. I would much rather have people that are my peers, my equals, that are contributing their thoughts, their ideas, and that I would be able to engage with. And I hate when streamers and all of that don't make themselves accessible to the very people who put food on their plate. It's just disrespectful to me, in my opinion. I work for you. I serve you. And I'm in service to you. And I think that's what it's all about. Like, that's what gives my life meaning, is being in service to other people. Right? It's feeling like I'm serving a higher purpose, a higher cause, and doing it in a way that I enjoy, a way that I love, and a way that I'm passionate about. And I wish everybody could have that for themselves. I wish everybody could have that. And you can. I promise you can. But you have to believe it. And you have to know it. And you have to know yourself to find, what it is. It doesn't have to be big by the world standards either, guys. Like, that's where people get it twisted. They say, well, I mean, John, of course you feel like you've got a purpose. You got all these, people following you and watching you, blah, blah, blah. It's like, that's worldly thinking. That's worldly thinking. Maybe you just being a good mom to your kids, or a good dad, or a good husband, or a good wife, or a good neighbor. Like, do you have any idea what impact that really is? How much bigger that is than having fucking fame. You know what fame is? It's fake love. Right? It's fake love. That's what it is. It disappears. It disappears. It's hollow. It's empty. It's not worth anything. The world has pumped us up to think that if we don't do something that the world recognizes as great, that it's not great. Fuck them, man. They don't know shit, guys. They don't. Fuck them. Your life is beautiful. Your life is big, and you're doing something amazing and important just by being here, just by seeking. Right? Because you're seeking and finding that truth. And when you set yourself free, like I said, this is that star in the jar. Right? It collapses and expands. But your expansion is causing the collapse of this cage. And you're creating a ripple effect around you, whether you know it or not. Seriously. You've probably triggered more people than you realize you have. You ain't got to be a YouTuber to trigger somebody into awakening. And I don't give a fuck. A YouTuber don't make you wake up either. You make you wake up. You know? And it's that simple. Like I'm just here to remind you of what you already know. I'm just here to stimulate you to keep going. That's it. Give you confirmation on what you're already seeking. You're doing all the work. And believe it or not, all of this content, everything I do, everything I know, everything I say, it comes from you guys, through you guys. It's a back and forth. That flow of energy that I talk about, it's what this is. It's what we're doing right now. Right? I feel the vibe in the chat room. I can tell when somebody's in there being a disruptive piece of shit because I feel the energy. And I can tell when the vibe's really high because I feel the love. Like, and I try to pour it out of me. That way, you know, because that's what we're supposed to do. That's what we're supposed to do. You know? And we never know anything for certain. We always got to keep our cup empty. That way we can keep refilling, you know, with new knowledge and stay fluid, stay flexible. The way as we know more, we can grow to it. You know, well, we should never be dogmatic about this stuff. You know, never. And the only people I really block and stuff like that are those motherfuckers. The ones who become dogmatic about Pleiadian agendas and stupid shit like that. Give me a break, man. You don't unindoctrinate to re-indoctrinate in something different. You know, you're just trading one beast for another. You're not awake. You're not aware. And you're not going within. Depending on anything outside of yourself, you're not going within. Every fucking thing that you need, everything that you need is in here, and I swear to you on that. I swear to you on that. Everything you need. And at your disposal, like you can change the world. Just you. Just by being you. And just by being the best version of you that you can be. And like if we want people to follow suit and to come over here to our side where we're trying to do something big and we're trying to do something beautiful, then we have to lead by example. Seriously, and it starts with ourselves. If we do our own work, we do our own business, you know, like, then we can help others with it. And they'll see how happy you are. They'll see how wise you are. They'll see how enlightened you are, and they'll want that too. And if they don't want that, it's because they're offended by the truth, because they hate the truth. They don't want the Holy Spirit near them. And that's their problem, not yours. Not yours. You know? And I just really want to be... Like, sometimes the only thing I hate about doing this is that I feel like when I'm real about something, sometimes I'll watch people tune out and shit. And that discourages me. You know, like when I... Like that does discourage me a little bit, you know, when you see like people turn away when you're actually talking about something personal or real, or it's like just like, you know, those pious people that go to church and do it for looks. Don't come in my fucking chat room to try to do it for looks. Please don't. You know, if you're not real about it, if you're not really seeking, if you're not really willing to admit you don't know shit, and neither do I, none of us do. We're all here together. If you're not willing to open up to any and every possibility and to love everyone, including your enemy, then fuck you. You don't belong here. If you don't like people because they're black or they're gay or they're white or whatever, fuck you. Go on. That's not what this place is. This is one spot on the internet where everything they do and use against us is prohibited. The only rule here is love. That's it. And truth. And they go hand in hand. They go hand in hand. And do your good deeds in secret. That's right. Don't let the left hand know what the right hand's doing. And I see people do that. And I shouldn't have to say that too, but I do. Whenever I do the Discords and I tell people to mention and all of that, like, I have to tell people, don't put the amount you donated and shit. And some people will literally do it and it's like, well, I did this or I did that. Well, you did it from the wrong place if you're like keeping tabs on shit, man. You know? That's what disgusts me when I see a homeless person, you know, holding a cup of change or something, you know, needing help. People will walk by his ass or her and say, I'm not giving that motherfucker nothing. They're just going to go drink and drug it up or something. Who cares? Then you're not giving from the right place. Don't matter what that homeless dude's going to do with the change you put in his cup. You're doing it for you, dude. You're doing it for you. And you're doing it out of love. That's the right reasons. You know, till people catch on to these things, man, you'll never break free. You can't break free. And I mean it. Like, you can't. You keep clinging on to it, you'll die with it. And I can't save you. None of these people can save you. Only you can save you. And I hope that each and every one of you save yourself. Nobody's coming to save you. And that's not a knock on Jesus. He's the Messiah, man. You know? But he's already done what he needed to do to free your ass. You just got to follow suit now. If you really love Jesus and you want to honor him as the Messiah, as the God-man, right? Then be like him. Do your best. You don't have to be perfect. Just follow what he did. And he didn't capitulate. At all. Not at all. He wasn't afraid to die. You know, he didn't want to. But he took it on when it was his time. You know? And he spoke and said what needed to be said because he knew it needed to be said. Knowing they would kill him. Knowing it. Because he loved the people he was speaking to so much. More than he loved his own self. That's what it's about. Sacrifice. Love. Being selfless. Just doing the right thing and being good. That's it. That's it. It's all about your heart, man. Nothing else. You know. You think if you know a bunch of things, that's how you get there? Well, no. You don't know shit then. You don't have to know all the shit I'm talking about to get to heaven. You gotta just know you. And that is it. And love you. Because if you don't love you, you don't love God. You don't. You're made in his image. You can't. You can't. And you can't love no one else. And most people don't love themselves for the fucking craziest reason. Because the world makes them feel like they're inadequate because they weigh a certain weight or look a certain way or whatever, and they hate themselves for the world not accepting them. I promise you it's not worth it. If you think the world accepts me, you're fucking tripping. People walk on the other side of the road when they see me. People follow me around the store like I'm going to steal something. You know? Seriously. This world hates me, and I want them to. I don't care. I don't care. Those who love the world, love for the Father is not in them. Recognize what this is. It's a fucking scam. It's an illusion to get you to believe that death is life. This is not life. This is death. And I mean it. There's two paths. The one to life and the one to death. And it's all coming to a head now. We have free will. Whether it's already happened or not, played out or not, this is our moment. You know, let's just say hypothetically it has already happened, because I believe it has. You can still have your moment to where you can turn it all around. It's never too late. Like, you really can. You could turn it all around. Every bit of it. I mean, I spent all my 20s in prison and jail and shit. Like, I'm serious. If I can, anybody could. And I'm not perfect still. I still, you know, like, you don't have to be. There's nothing in there that says you have to be perfect. It says he weighs our hearts. And he writes the truth on our hearts. Our heart is the seat of our soul. So please, everybody, man, love like it's your last day on earth. Love the people around you and be so good to them, man. Honor them for their love. If you truly love the people that love you, you'll honor them for loving you. You'll respect them for loving you. You'll be good to them for loving you. You know? It won't be a task. It'll bring you joy. Because you'll bring someone else joy. You know? Don't get caught up in all this shit. Somebody called me the other day and said they were upset. They're like, man, it just hit me, John. You know? Like, all of it. Don't be upset. We can't lose. We can't lose. It's already over. There's no way. There's no way we can lose. I promise you. There's no way. It's done. It's done. And this is our moment. You know, our Moses moment where we're screaming, let my people go. Let my people go. And you know what? Egypt, Babylon, they're out of chances now. Now it's time to kill the firstborn, which are Nephilim, which are children of the fallen, which are the evil people of the world. I love you guys so much. Like I said, please throw some prayers up there for me. I would really appreciate it. Please share this if you can. It would help me so much to share it. Hit the like. Leave a comment. And subscribe and follow if you haven't. And make sure to subscribe on all the different platforms. I have put all the links in the description now. So all the different platforms are in there. And, you know, like I said, I'm trying to work on a really cool website, guys. I need help. You know, I need help because I'm going to put a forum on it and everything. I'm going to make it really great, man. Really great. And tomorrow night we'll be doing the private show. You can go check out the private content for free. Best Damn Podcast. official, patreon.com, Best Damn Podcast Official. And, please consider donating, supporting, and helping me. It would be really appreciated. So, all right, guys. I love you so much, man. And I appreciate everything. Like, I really do. And I'm not just saying that either. Remember, Jesus is the truth, the way, and life. God bless you guys. I love you, and I'll see you next time. You'll have a wonderful weekend. Peace.
I be in your nightmare, yeah. Been drinking, I can't see clear. I'm so sorry, all your dreams are coming true. Hit the lights, let it brew, yeah. Make a move. I be in your nightmare. Been drinking, I can't see clear. I'm so sorry, all your dreams are coming true. Hit the lights, let it brew. Make a move, it is true. I need you. Take a trip, vibrant lights, catch a move. I need a piece of the pie just to go to an island so I can take you. Pick in my cup just to cure the cough that I just caught from my diamonds, the flu. Is it you? Is it you? Is it me? Hop on the coaster, let's take a ride. Yeah, 2 hands up in the sky, and I cannot lose on my lucky charm. Take a ride in the forest from dawn to dawn. Bitch, I'm a real dumb. Eating that pussy like Cinnabon. I do not need this life. No. I do not need it. No. She's taking seated. Yeah. I do not need it. I do not need this life. No. I do not need it. Yeah. The diamond, they jump in my eyes. I just can't see it. I be in your nightmare. Yeah. Been drinking, I can't see clear. I'm so sorry, all your dreams are coming true. Hit the lights, let it brew, yeah. Make a move. I be in your nightmare. Been drinking, I can't see clear. I'm so sorry, all your dreams are coming true. Hit the lights, let it brew, make a move. Yeah, I can be your nightmare, I can be your dream, I can be your fantasy. Sometimes I could be mean, sometimes I could be nice, sometimes I bring the rice, sometimes I got my